Okay, guys, we're just making sure that this works. I think it's working. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays. This is Crystal Ballin, but you know what? On Mondays, we are not ballin. We're talking about the mental health, and we have 1 week to go until the 49ers regular season kicks off, playing the Jets on Monday Night Football. I thought that I'd start the season off by just talking about our mental health a little bit. Those who have rocked with me in the past understand what this segment is about. I used to do this. Drink your water, get out for walks, do your thing, get your mentals in check. I'm going to take a sip right now. It has been a week of absolute craziness when it comes to the 49ers offseason. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk got his deal done. That was fucking with all of our heads for a very long time. Super pumped for him. 120 million over 4 years is incredible. Now, next up on the docket is Trent Williams. We need Big Trent to get paid because little Brock Purdy needs his little head protected. And we're talking about mental health today, but we need every bit of Purdy to be protected. All the players need to be protected. We got some guys coming off injury reserve on the pup list coming up in like 4-6 weeks kind of thing from now, hopefully. But one of the biggest storylines that everybody was talking about this past weekend was obviously Ricky Pearsall. He was shot. He was shot over a watch situation. It was this whole thing. I don't really want to get into the whole dynamic of what happened and, you know, the political side of it because, listen, I grew up in Canada. I'm living in Italy. I don't really have any say when it comes to anything to do with politics, especially in the US. I have my own opinions, obviously. I'm not crazy about guns, but I'm not sitting here trying to tell people like guns are not the way, blah, blah, blah. I know initially I posted something like fuck guns, which, you know what? I grew up with the situation that happened to one of my friends. His dad ended up dying with a whole incident when it came to guns. And I just personally am not a gun person, but I'm not sitting here telling everyone else not to be either. I'm not trying to make this political by any means. We have enough shit going on in the world that I don't need to sit here and try and force my opinions on anyone. I just take the stance that I'm very, very, very happy and grateful that Ricky's okay. I don't know Ricky personally. I just know when he was drafted by the 49ers this past draft class, I was excited. I got, I think like everyone, we were confused why it wasn't an offensive lineman, but I got excited watching his highlights. And, the guy's already been struggling a little bit through training camp. He's had a couple injuries going on with his shoulder and all that. And I just want the guy to be healthy. I'm super happy that he's alive. His mom's post that she put up on Facebook made me tear up and everything just because you never know when a moment could potentially be it. This past week has been a little crazy just in the sports news. We obviously saw Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matty. They were struck by a car and they died as they were biking, and they were in New Jersey for their sister's wedding. It's been a weird, somber week for sports and everything. And I just feel like a lot of people, instead of focusing on the fact that Ricky is alive and that bullet went through and through, it didn't hit any of his internal organs. He's okay. He's going to be okay. He already was released from the hospital. What a badass, by the way. Like, dude can recover from injuries pretty fucking quick, if you ask me. But I think the fact that he survived this is what we should be focusing on. It shouldn't be this whole argument over safeness of a city and the crime rate and all this other stuff. And listen, I don't have the right to talk about any of that because I've never lived in California. I've never lived in San Francisco. I grew up in Vancouver, which, you know what, we have our own issues and own problems there. And even then, I don't want to get into that kind of content when I'm talking about sports. That's just not who I am. I have an opinion about things, and, in the right place, right time. That's something that I talk about with people who are close to me, but I'm not trying to get online and debate and argue with people about their opinions and try and persuade them to think the way that I think, because I just don't think that that's who I am as a person. And I'm also not qualified to do that. I went to school for sports journalism. I have my degree in journalism. As much as many people this past week, especially, want to tell me I'm not qualified to talk about sports in the same way that some people are, that's fine. I have my own takes. I have my own way of looking at the world. And that's fine if you want to tell me that. So we'll stick to the sports shit because I just don't think I'm qualified to go above that. And I have my opinions. We all do. I have a daughter now. I see the world in a little bit different, in a bit of a different way now. And I obviously want the world to be a safe place. I want our players that get out on the field to feel like they're safe when they're traveling between going shopping, getting something from Louis Vuitton to then going to an autograph signing or whatever it may be. I want our players to feel safe. And the biggest takeaway that I had from what happened to Ricky is that he's okay. There are a lot of people yelling about Kyle Shanahan is an idiot because he wasn't at the hospital. He ended up still having all the players over for the 53-man roster party. We don't know the context of what happened. We have no idea. Had Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, all those guys known what condition Ricky was in, of course you want to still be there for the rest of your team. You want to show up for the guys that are down. But we're not going to put down Kyle Shanahan and say he's that kind of coach because he wasn't there for Ricky. Maybe Ricky was like, yo, go be with the dudes. Like, they need you more than I do right now. John Lynch is holding it down. Like, we're good. I'm going to be just fine. I've got that dog in me. I know some people are like, oh my God, that meme has come back. But he does have that dog in him. And we're not going to sit here and judge how a team goes about their business because you know what? At the end of the day, all those guys need to get out on the field and feel like they're ready to play. They have the support of the coach. Their mentals are there. And maybe, we don't know. Again, we were not in that hospital room with Ricky. Maybe he was telling everybody, you know what, I'm good. Like, take care of yourselves right now because I'm taking care of me and I'm where I need to be in the hospital. They've got me, So mental health Mondays are important to me because ever since I moved here to Italy, I've had a very interesting life, to say the least. Me and my husband, we moved here by ourselves. We were not married yet, brought our dog here, didn't have a daughter yet. I got pregnant within the first 6 months, 7 months, whatever it was, of living in Italy. But within that time frame, my mom and dad had come to visit, and they stayed for 2 months because my parents wanted to buy a place just kind of down the road from us, about 12 kilometers away from the town that we live in. And at that time, my dad wasn't feeling great. The medical system here in Italy is pretty awesome. So we're like, me and my mom kind of urged him to go to the hospital, get checked out just in case. Cause like, say there's something going wrong. Like, we wanted to make sure he was okay. So we urged him to go on Father's Day of all days. Cause I'm like, look, Dad, you're my dad. It's Father's Day. If something were to happen to you, like, do me the favor by going and getting checked out on Father's Day. We got to check our mentals and everything, but like physically, you got to check yourself there too, right? And I know it can be a lot to go and get checked out of the hospital because it's scary. You don't know what's going on. He ends up going in and he was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia. It's called APL. I don't know how to say it properly, so I'm just going to leave it at APL. Super rare form. And he had already had it, they think, for around 3 weeks. And at that point, most people don't live with this kind of cancer. They like basically have a month to live unless they're treated. And he got in right at the right time. Because of that, my dad is still alive right now, fighting. He's battling his cancer, his leukemia, and fighting every single day. He's one of my heroes. He literally is my hero. He's so important to me. And I think that anytime you have a family member go through something pretty crazy, pretty traumatic, pretty life-threatening, it puts a lot in perspective that, the way that we look at the world changes a little bit. You're not only living for yourself, you're living for the people around you. And I look at my dad and what he's going through every day. He's on a transplant list. He actually just got a worldwide donor to get new stem cells put into his body to hopefully eradicate the cancer for good. And just watching him go through that and knowing that there are all these other people that are going through things in life that are much bigger than a game of football, it just makes me feel like, why are we going to sit here and judge what anybody else does? At the end of the day, the fact that this person is alive is all that matters. And the fact that we have the power in us to be good people and show support in a way rather than argue about shit online that truly doesn't matter. I think that's where we should be focusing our mentals. And in order to truly reflect on what goes on in the world and to be a bigger, better person each day, like, you have to keep your own mentals in check. And by doing that, you show up for yourself, you show up for the people you love, and you show kindness to people that you don't know. Those are the 3 things that today I want to tell you guys to focus on, because going into this season, we're 49ers fans. We've been through it. And yeah, there's some fan bases that have been through even more than us. Think of the Jets. We're playing them Monday Night Football week today. They've gone through it too. And so rather than sit here and be fucking assholes to each other about a football game or about the players. Oh, this fantasy guy's not doing well for me. CMC didn't get me enough points. I lost my week, whatever it may be. Take a step back. Are you healthy? Are the people around you healthy? Have you lived through a crazy experience that like has kind of shifted your mind? Do you have somebody that you're truly living for? Do you love yourself? These are things that you should look at and be grateful for. And, you know, I actually just talked to my mom about this. Being grateful is one of the biggest things that you can be for yourself. To look in the mirror each day and talk to yourself about what you're grateful for, truly what you're grateful for. Not just like material items and whatever, like actual physical things that are inside you, your traits, the people around you, the love that you give and show to the world. I'm super grateful for the way that my mom and dad both raised me to look at things in life. I'm super grateful that I have an empathetic heart because I've been through some crazy shit myself that has shifted the way that I look at things, and I give a lot more grace to people around me, maybe sometimes more than I should. And I have a daughter that I look at each day that she inspires me to be the best version of myself too. I think that my mental health kind of improved ever since I've had a daughter, because rather than sit online and get upset about what people are saying about me or about people I love or about players I care about, that, you know, I know we're not supposed to be attached to those kind of things, like especially football players, they get traded all the time. Brandon Ayuk almost was gone. He is not though. So shut the fuck up, all you people who told me that we were not going to have him. Anyways, you literally take a step back and you can see those kind of things don't matter. You know, are you healthy? Are you living each day to the best of your ability to be a better, amazing person for the people around you, but to be a better person for yourself? We all go through some shit. Sometimes we project that onto other people and it's not fair. Sometimes we act a fool when we say really shitty things. Sometimes we don't react in the way that we should after somebody else says a shitty thing. But we're all human. We all make mistakes. If we're not willing to look at those mistakes and look in the mirror and change that, that's when the mental health might go on the decline. But if we truly learn from those mistakes, look at ourselves and say, yeah, you know what? I am human. I'm not some fucking robot. You can take that and you can be a better person for yourself, but for the world, because you're giving yourself the grace. You're not going to carry that guilt around that, yeah, you did make a mistake. It's okay to make mistakes. Learn from it. Don't do it again. But if you continue to make those same mistakes, that there's a pattern there, obviously something in the mentals is not checking out the way that it should. Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second, guys. I'm going to pause this for a second. One brief second. Okay, I had to go get my daughter. If you guys want to see how adorable she is. There she is. Um, she just woke up from a nap. She's having a little bit of a struggle on Mental Health Mondays, as we all are. She probably needs some grilled cheese and some yummy, yummy water. Drink your water. Cheers. Where's the bottle? I really need to go be a mama right now because mental health for me, it's okay, sweetheart. Mental health for me is about being a good mama. And little angel butt needs me right now. So I just wanted to remind you guys just to be good people. Show up for yourself, show kindness to others, show empathy. And remember that at the end of the day, if somebody's been shot, the fact that they're still alive is what matters. I love you guys. 1 week today, we play the Jets, and we're going to kick the shit out of them on the field in a good way. Don't worry, not in anything bad. We want to be good people, remember. And we're going to be kind to others this whole season, regardless of what happens with our 49ers. Okay? Even though they put us through it, even though they put us through the ringer and our mentals go all banana land, we are going to show up and be good humans and treat others with kindness and be optimistic about our season. I love you guys. We will chat soon. Goodbye from little Ari. Say goodbye. Ciao, ciao. Can you blow a kiss? Hey, Bamba. There you go.